Hello and welcome to Daily Reflection with Aneel Aranha. Today is the 22nd of February 2019. We're going to reflect on Matthew chapter 16, verses 13 to 19. Listen. Now when Jesus came into the district of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, "Who do people say that the Son of Man is?" And they said, "Some say John the Baptist, but others Elijah, and still others Jeremiah, or one of the prophets." He said to them, "But who do you say that I am?" Simon Peter answered, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." And Jesus answered him, "Blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, for flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father in heaven. And I tell you, you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not prevail against it. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven." The gospel of the Lord. You are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not prevail against it. Although this makes a case for the primacy of Peter, I would like to talk about something else instead: war. At first reading, what Jesus says might appear defensive, that the church built on the rock will not be overcome by any attack mounted by Hades. But when you read it more closely, you realize it is not a defensive statement, but an offensive one. Jesus is saying that the gates of Hades will not prevail against the church. No war has ever been won by a defending army. It is always the army on the offensive that has won battles, and the church was never meant to be a defensive body. We have been known since the very beginning as the church militant, which consists of Christians on earth who struggle as soldiers of Christ against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Our struggle is not against flesh and blood, not against people in the world. So when we go to war, the weapons we fight with are not the weapons of the world. On the contrary, they have divine power to demolish strongholds. What weapons are these? The primary weapon is the Word of God, which Paul tells us is the sword of the Spirit. Now, for a sword to be effective, it needs to be unsheathed, wielded, and practiced with until it becomes an extension of the arm. Similarly, for the Word of God to be effective, it needs to be opened, read, studied, meditated upon, memorized, until it becomes an integral part of our lives. And then we can go to war against evil, and Jesus promises that we will be triumphant. And why not? God has given us all that we need, including special armor. To quote Paul again, "Stand with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness in place, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. In addition to all this, take up the shield of faith with which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. Take the helmet of salvation and, of course, the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God." Arise, church. God bless you.